phone. He doesn't have a phone that does like a smartphone type thing. He just a straight phone.
Yeah, he can take pictures, and like they can upload them, but he can't get on TikTok or, you know, any of this. But the cool part about it is that when he gets older, or I guess when the plan runs out, then they automatically will upgrade the phone to like the next, level, like a real phone.
Okay, that's a good idea. Anybody else? My matters really, y'all got a dirty mind, bro. All right, next letter. So last night, my daughter, who's 16, came to me and said she wants to come out to her dad. She's been out to me for years, and I've always loved and supported her no matter what. I asked her if she was really sure. He has been outspoken in the past about being against LGBTQ, but I said again, I will support her. He freaked out and started yelling that she's a F word over and over and is still using it this morning in the house. Then she tried talking to him, asking him to love her for who she is, and he wouldn't respond, and then slammed the door in her face. It broke my heart completely to watch my baby stand there and the look on her face. Obviously, I'm going to leave him, but I would like advice on what to say to her today to be as supportive as possible. Who knows what he will say today when he gets up. I also ended up calling the police because we were both so scared. They couldn't do anything because nothing physical happened. Now he's mad at me for that and not talking to me. I reminded him that isn't a punishment for at all. Ha ha. He can hate me all he wants, but I refuse to let him be mean to her. Any advice would be greatly appreciated. Whitney.
Run away from him and protect your peace and protect your child, because at the end of the day, that child came from you. And if he don't like the way that she turned out to be, oh well. That's not his preference.
All right, love it. Well,
Um, I, I, again, we say it's 2025. People, grow the hell up. My daughter is gay, and she got married October 13th last year. I was there as the proud mother. Thank you very much, because she has found somebody that loves her and supports her. I see that y'all give her more kudos and claps and everything more than I do, and I'm the mama. Love her. So there's nothing that she can say to the baby. Just tell her, I love you, I got you, and let her come to you. And if she has problems, or if she pluses or minus, just be available for her. But don't preach at her, and leave him alone, because he's not coming around. And old days used to be that the people that fussed the most were actually that. That's the way it used to be in the olden days. I'm not quite sure it's still like that, but whatever. But just be there for her. There's nothing that you could do or say. Just be there for her.
all right, Melvin.
I just, my stomach turned when you read this. You know, as a parent, you're supposed to protect your kids and love your kids when they leave the nest, and still protect them the best way you can. And for a father to do that to his seed, I don't know what to say, man. And the wife I'm glad the wife said that she's gonna leave, and it is correct that because there was no domestic, so they couldn't do anything. But she just needs to collect her money I hope she saved up a good amount to get the hell out of there and get herself an apartment or another house and just move on and just cut him off, because eventually he's going to turn around and say, you know what, I miss my daughter, and he's going to have to accept who she is. Fuck that, man. Okay, your daughter is part of the rainbow community. There ain't nothing wrong with that. That's your kid. That's your goddamn kid, man. So forgive me for swearing and bothered by this, because you know, if one of my kids came out, I just hug him and be like, yo, when we going to the club, man, to go hang out with you. You know what I'm saying? Just embrace him, man. That's your kid, man. Fucking punk.
All right, J Bay.
Um, I'm just gonna say kudos to the mom. Like she's done everything right. Especially the not outing her to the dad. Like if she's been out to her for years, her not letting that slip. Like hats off to her for that. Shame on the dad. He really should have and could have done better.
Yeah.
As far as what to say to the girl, just tell her you love her. Tell her a lot of people blame themselves. Tell her it's not her fault. That she can't help how he is. She can't help how he reacted. And that there's nothing wrong with her. A lot of people think that there's something wrong with them and they deserved it. Don't let that even settle into her brain good.
My
Being the father of a transgender daughter, you're not going to abuse my child. First of all, you're not going to do that. And a lot of this behavior is deep seated religious belief systems. People don't, even though they're not part, they may not even part of it, but it's in you, it's embedded in your psyche. This is why you respond the way you respond. You would not have an issue with anyone being same gender unless that was programmed in you to think that way.
Right.
So it is what it is. Love on your daughter. If therapy is needed, do what you need to do. But if he is this deep seated in his mind, there's nothing you're going to be able to do to change him. He has to want to change. I tell men all the time, you're dangerous individuals when you don't process and when you don't get help to process things mentally. You are dangerous. You're dangerous to women and you are dangerous to children. So it is what it is. But I land my plane with that. But you're not going to abuse my child, and you're not going to do that whether I'm away or I'm with you. It's not happening. So in order for that not to happen, we're going to divorce our presence with you until you can get some mental help. Do the work. That's all I can say.
Love it, love it, love it. Chocolate.
Sounds like we're all in consensus that the
Mhm.
father is in the wrong. And there's no, you're supposed to love your children unconditionally. And something as far as what your child or who your child is attracted to should not play a role in how much you still love that human being.
Right.
Um, so um, it's unfortunate that the solution to the problem is going to be him and him recognizing that he's wrong, period. There's no like gray area. He's wrong. If there's no, if that's how she feels and she actually wants to be honest with him and not lie to him, and he reacted the way that he reacted, then um, I guess what is the question? The mother is wondering, should she leave the father?
She wants to know, well, she says she's going to leave, but she
Hmm.
wants to know, I guess, what should she say to him?
Um, Probably nothing because he's not going to listen. He's not gonna want to listen. He's already just wrapped up in his own world, in his own understanding, very stubborn, very ignorant. And for him, unless I don't know, maybe that was just his immediate reaction. But if this letter came to you after a couple of weeks, then that's unfortunate. And I feel bad for the young lady.
All right. Good, very good point, Chocolate. 5 minutes.
I don't think it's so much that he does not love the child. He just doesn't like the child and the decisions made. And yeah, separate, go to counseling separately and as a family. And hopefully, he gets to come around before he does too much damage. That's all I got.
All right. Victorious.
I'm waiting on this response.
Now, this is what I think. It's three parts. The mother can suggest a sit down, a one-time sit down, and you hear me out, you hear your daughter out, and we will hear you out. Then, the father, I have to say that we have to try to understand what he may be feeling, and it's an appropriate way to express that. When you start calling somebody names, to the daughter, I would have said, I'm a seed of yours, so is it your side of the family that made me like this? If you got a problem with it, you need to go back to your side of the family. Point blank. It's a situation that has to be, compassion has to be offered. And you would not mistreat my child. I had to wait time out and see which set of life my daughter was going to choose. And it was my only responsibility was to give her unconditional love. And I work at a college, and when I say I see some of every and any and all kind of things, even with the staff, I had to take a double look when I went in another building one day, and he had a full beard that had been cut and the wig on and the dress, and I had to tell myself, Carol, turn your face around, girl, stop looking. Just so I didn't make him uncomfortable. But compassion has to be offered all the way around the table. You don't call names. And if she lives in the house, he would just come home to a locked door. I ain't moving into no apartment. So he just gonna have to change his address. Point blank.
All right. I think Melvin had his hand up. Go ahead, Melvin.
Yeah, I gave a little 5 minute pushback because the damage is already done by him acting up and saying the things he said to her. I don't think therapy is gonna help this dude. He's set in his own ways and beliefs, and he just failed his kid. So your child should not have to take that long of time to come out to your parent. She came out to one parent, the mom, but is just beyond scared and afraid to tell her dad. And he has voiced his opinion out loud. So the damage is done to her. So there's no coming back. And that's why the mother decides, listen, I'm finna go. And I don't blame her. Really, what the hell? He got to do a lot of apology and get educated and want to accept the fact, okay, your daughter is part of the community. So she ain't hurting you, man. Come on. That's your kid.
Go ahead, 5 minutes.
I didn't say that he didn't do damage. I said that I'm sure he loves her. He just does not like her right now, and he does not like the decision that she has made. And that before they reach the point of no return, that they need to get into counseling, and that the mother is right to separate so that they have the room to do those things. I have a belief in people that they are capable of redemption and doing better and being better, especially when it comes to their children. And so until he really, you know, proves that theory wrong to them, I mean, we'll never know. But I'm going to say a prayer that this poor child has not lost her father forever. And I have enough friends in the community and family to know, and my mother as well, who come from across the equator, people who didn't talk to their parents for 10, 15, some 20 years. And, we're able to reconcile and able to forgive. So that's just my choice to believe in humanity being better, especially when it comes to someone that you've made. What she described was an initial reaction. So that's him caught off guard, not liking what he hears, not wanting whatever his vision of this lifestyle is for his child, probably not expecting it in any way, probably thinking, how we gonna get grandkids? And then the next morning, he woke up still angry. He's still in what do they call that? When like when people get assaulted, they
Denial.
no, and they go tell somebody. There's like an actual term for it. Like they 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 tell somebody. I forget what it's called, but the whole point is that it's
In
an
shock.
emotional response. Yeah, it's part shock. It's part disbelief. It's part I don't want this. It's part are you sure? It's part why didn't you tell me? Wait, how long have you known? I thought we was in this like together. Wait, you knew? I mean, that's a lot. And I know it's not popular to take up for the guy that says mean things to his kid, but at the same time, we don't, we're people, and people get to big mistakes and be assholes, and they get to come to that person that they hurt and say, please forgive me, I was wrong. And hopefully, he got enough common sense, love, and, less ego to be able to say that to his child at some point before either one of them is on the other side of this here ground. I'm done.
All right, so we got Victorious, J Bait, and then Chocolate. Go ahead, Victorious.
Mine is not a rebuttal. I just want to apologize. I was at the bow trying to get me a wing, then I didn't want no wings on crack. So that's what I was expressing when I was on the phone. So I apologize for talking.
You good. You didn't have to apologize for that, girl. You good. All right, J Bay and then Chocolate.
I can kind of see what 5 minutes is saying, but I felt this way for a long time. I don't have kids, so I try not to speak about the parent-child experience because I can only speak from one side of that experience as a child. Um, I feel like people having kids and not being prepared for what that kid may turn out to be is outrageous. And not being prepared to love them for despite them making different life choices than you is outrageous. I think that at the very least, he owed him taking a deep breath because him exploding on her like that, throwing slurs at her, slamming the door on her face, breaking her heart. just it's unacceptable. Like I hear what 5 minutes is saying that giving people second chances, but I just personally don't believe in that. I don't believe everything is forgivable, and this kind of reaction only really the daughter in the situation can say if it was forgivable to her. But I think it's pretty close to being unforgivable that he would just hurl slurs at her instead of love.
Right. I agree with that. Chocolate, go ahead, love.
I do also agree with 5 minutes. As far as it was a lot of information that he had to take in at one point, and he probably felt betrayed and was caught off guard. However, as an adult, as a male, as a father, as a husband, like Jay Bay said, he should have took a breath. He should have been like, okay, this is a lot. Gave his daughter a hug and revisited the situation in the next day. Um, Sexuality is evolving like technology, and you just got to keep up. And I know from personal experience, my niece took her life because it's one thing if your family doesn't accept you, but it's another thing if well, oh, sorry. It's one thing that society doesn't accept you. It's another thing if your family doesn't accept you. Your family, your parents, your siblings, they need to be more supportive than that. So that's all I have to say about that. That the father should have handled it differently. He can feel however he wants to feel, but he didn't have to explode in front of his daughter, who really took a lot of courage to even say it to him instead of living, a lie and just being living her truth and just that's probably the only person out of everybody who she didn't want to tell, and that's probably the reason. But he should have known better.
I agree. I agree. Go ahead. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but I know how to pronounce Purple Lily.
Novel.
Navajo.
Novel.
Yes, thank you.
That's okay. I forgot. Go ahead, Navo. I'm sorry.
Thank you. No, I just think it's wild, and I was agreeing. What I want to say is I agree that when we have children, when we decide that we will have children, whether we end up, pregnant by, you know, what they call accident. I don't. There's rarely an accident because either we was trying not to get pregnant or we wasn't trying to prevent it. In most
Right.
cases,
I
in
agree.
most cases. Um, I do have the experience of ending up pregnant while I was trying not to be pregnant. But you know what? That was the will of the world and that's what happened.
I agree.
But when you make the decision to become a parent thereafter, you have to make the decision that, okay, if my child comes out sick, if my child comes out any which way, shape, and form, that you're gonna love that child. Or
Mhm.
the damage that you do not just to that child but to the world, because it's a chain reaction that happens. Hurt, and I know some people that say they tired of hearing hurt people, but hurt people, and it becomes a chain of damage in not just one world but in many. I
Right.
don't know if that makes sense, but like, though, it's a chain reaction. So when we mistreat our children because of the way they decide to love, which is wild, or the way they decide to dress, or conduct their lives, which our role, once we have children and they're at a point where they can make those decisions, our role is nothing but support and love.
Right.
Once once we make it to that point, that's all we're supposed to be doing. And if you're not doing that, you failing not just your children, but like generations of people and everybody they come in contact with, that they gonna spread that negativity to.
I've actually my I remember when my daughter came out to me. She's paying, and during that time I was Christian. I was still a Christian then, and she was so worried um about my reaction. But I just, at first, being a Christian, I was a little. I'll be honest. I was a little taken back, but I always said that I could never turn my back on my children. Never. And I embraced my daughter. And I was like, I'm going to stand with you. And I'm going to be in this fight with you. If we got to tell some relatives off, hey, it is what it is, but I got your back. And I've had her back ever since. But she was really afraid to come up to me because I was a Christian then. 5 minutes, you had your hand back up. Go ahead. 5 minutes.
Yeah. Hold on. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm eating and I think I just swallowed like a bone or something very hard. Hold on.
You got something to drink with you?
Yeah. Um. Mm.
Look,
Okay.
press your fingers in between your throat, right between your collarbone, and cough.
Are you okay? Did you hear what Navajo said, do?
Press your fingers in between your collarbone where your throat is and cough.
Right here.
There you go.
It's aluminum in my soup.
We got a problem now.
Yeah, we
Oh
do have a big.
no.
Oh no. Uh-oh. Don't eat no more.
I
I
would.
was really liking this soup. Damn.
We no
You
more.
gonna
Oh.
finish
Because it
it?
had that extra flavor in it.
I'm sorry.
It's all
Okay.
right.
Uh. Oh.
Did you drink? Yeah, drink something. Don't eat
If
them
you're
all.
choking and you can't get it to work over a chair, it's probably really deep in there. But if when you first notice something happening, if you put your fingers right there in your throat, but right where you have yours, but up just a tiny bit more where you feel it give,
Yeah, right
push
here.
down and cough.
Okay.
It'll get liquids out, all kinds of little things. It's very helpful.
Thank
Oh,
you.
okay. Yeah, the only time I choked, I was two. I choked on a piece of ice, and I remember,
No, no, no.
I
Talk about
remember
this. Talk about the story. Talk about the story.
but my mama picked me up and ran across the street, and my big neighbor took me by the ankles and slapped me on the back, and the ice flew back across the street towards our house, and we didn't have ice in the house for 24 years.
She
Back
said
to the
talk about
story.
T said talk about the story.
Yeah, I'm going back to the story. Um, but that shows you how crazy my mother really is, like for real. But here's the deal, though. Parents, parents are supposed to do better. Parents are supposed to be more thoughtful and more kind and more appropriate and all that kind of stuff. True. But parents are also people. And I'm still gonna go back to this was the initial first 24, not even full 24 hours of this man receiving all of this information. Now, they have been talking about it was 10 years, and he's every time she come over for Christmas, he's dropping these words and acting a fool and trying to kick out, the person she loves. Well, then we don't need to be around him ever again in life. But 36, a day, and you just got some really wild information. I give him the hope and a blessing that hopefully he can find help once he is separated from the situation, once he's able to talk to people, once they're able to come back and speak as a family. And here's the deal. I'm not just in tell mode. When I was 26, I too got pregnant. I told my mother, and the first thing she said to me was, "And when are we taking care of this? Because it's not going to happen." Period. Dot. There was no conversation. There was no who and when and how long and how do you feel about it. That was her exact words. When do take care it's when do we take care of this, because it's not going to happen. And then she said 3 days later, I've made an appointment to go to counseling.
Well,
Okay,
what?
hold on. Got to counseling, and my mother said to me with a straight face, I have spent 27 years doing everything and all that I can to keep you alive. And you turned around to do dumb shit. This is not smart. And I will not stand by and watch you risk the life that I have put so much in to keeping you here past 5, past 10, past 15. And what you all don't know and don't understand is that for me, pregnancy is not normal, and it's not because of the sickle cell. It's because I suffer from hyperhemolysis. So the very first blood transfusion I ever got, I went into a 4-day coma. And that put me on a spiral. 4 years later, my hemoglobin dropped to 1, and I went into organ failure. And the grace of God and an experimental infusion put me back on a regular floor. And I can fast forward another 5 years where I almost passed away again. So my mother's position was not, honey, you can't not be a mother. Her
But
position was you very much, you lose a lot of blood, and we know for a fact that you got a 98% chance of not living through blood transfusion.
okay,
Miss,
I have a
what is
question. How does this equate with what the story is talking about in
So
the
I'm
father's
simply saying that
reaction to his daughter?
because it equates in my mind, because that was just like his response was what I consider to be cold, inappropriate, thoughtless, un in no way supportive, and giving no care to how he responded to his child's most personal decision about how she's going to live her life. When I dropped my information on my mother, first and foremost, yeah, I was an adult. Yeah, I could have just gone and done whatever. But where I was coming from was, if something happened to me, I would want her to know. I wouldn't just want it to come out the blue, like, oh mom, I'm gonna go to Europe for 9 months. I'll be back, and then I go to Europe and I pass away or something. So that's where I was coming from.
Okay,
And
go
he's
ahead.
coming from, and I didn't have another person to support me. I didn't have a father in the room. I didn't have my sister. I didn't have friends. I didn't have family. It was me and her. And my closest ally would have been my grandmother. And she had a stroke, could not speak. And a month later, I signed the papers to take her off life support. So, for my mother to not look at me and say, you know what, baby? Okay, this is difficult. And I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. We're that I don't see how both of you are gonna live. I don't see it. And when we went to all the specialists, they all said the same thing. It's not the pregnancy, it's the lack of blood. You cannot have blood. The child cannot get a blood transfusion either, because you're probably passing this thing on to him. Am I really going to bring a child into the world while I'm passing away on a table and leave him without me? Like, the way that I felt about it was she could have said those things first and then said, we need to, you know, this is the cleanest, most clear cut way to deal with it and keep you here because you are what's important to me in this moment, not this person that I don't know. And it took many years for her to clarify the loss that she felt, but could not share with me because of the way that she acted. And I forgave her for that because I understood what was at hand. And the fact that
And the fact that
I almost died too, passed away, excuse me. So yeah, parents do fucked up stuff. They say horrible things. And if they are willing to come to you later and say I was wrong, I should have not done that, then okay. And all I'm saying is that this has been a day. This man might surprise all of you and come back and say how I reacted was really disgusting and I was wrong. And he may not. And you know what? If he does it, then he's losing out on what is truly one of God's greatest blessings, and that is watching your child become an adult and have their own children.
All right. J-Bay, you want to say something, love?
I just wanted to clarify the point that it was one day. In the letter, she definitely said
Right.
that it was multiple days. And I think it was going on day 3 when the letter was written. And he was still having this really big, energetic reaction. Also, I don't want to diminish any part of your story. I think it's a beautiful story with a lot of intricacies because people are not perfect and people are intricate and multifaceted. But it just sounds like to me, from what I'm hearing from both stories, the comparison can't really be drawn because it sounds like he's coming from a place of selfishness and his own ego and his own idea of what he wants his life and his reality to be like. And your mother was coming from a place of love from you. I mean, for you. And maybe she wasn't as sensitive, but that core uh that core place that she was coming from was love. For him, it's you can't be coming from a place of love and also disrespecting and and disregarding your child
Right.
at the same. You can't like they aren't comparable. Is what I'm saying. Like
Right.
I feel like you're giving him a little bit more grace than he deserves.
And me
It's not
Because
like
too.
her life is on the line
right,
here.
because to say the word that he said, go to bed, wake up that next morning, and to say that word again, now he's being hurtful on purpose. Right, the name calling. He's being hurtful on purpose. That's why I was asking. Well, how does this the situation that you was bringing up go along with the story? In my opinion, it didn't because, like she just said.
You are giving and what I'm about to say is you're giving my mother too much credit because
Okay.
my mother is our relationship is very much adversarial and business from the moment that I was born and could speak. So I don't have options of being weak and doing stupid shit and making any type of decision that is going to go against my health, which is her ultimate thing that she focuses on out of all of the other things in my life that she could share with me. This is the only thing that she truly shares and leads and shows up for and is there. And anything that interrupts that that design that she has created and embedded in my life is immediately just swiped. And it's taken her 20 years to just now begin to see and change things up. And I accept very clearly, and we don't have to agree. I'm not disagreeing with you all. I'm not saying to you guys, oh no, forgive what he's doing. I'm saying to you all, 1 day, 3 days, that's not a lot of time to take in and what he took in and dealt with what he dealt with. 3 years would have been different. I'm simply saying that 3 days, yes, ma'am. Remove your child from the present mental and emotional danger. Allow Kim to deal with this. Put yourselves in therapy and hope and pray, that he comes around or that he realizes, damn, I never should have said that to my child. And I'm willing to give him that after 3 days. And if he doesn't, he doesn't, and that's fine. I don't think that we are not saying the same thing personally, but I'm just saying that parents don't always respond the best, and sometimes it takes them a while to come around and truly humble themselves to their child and say, I fucked up. That's my
Alright,
opinion.
J Bay and then Navajo, and then I'm going to another story after Navajo. Go ahead, J Bay.
Um, I'm actually just gonna go ahead and go ahead to Navo because I was gonna get into business that really isn't mine. Like this is 5 minutes experience with her own mother. I have no details there, so I'll just skip that.
Okay, no problem. Navajo, go ahead.
I think all I wanted to say was that to add on to what I was saying earlier, once you have a child, it's like, who are we to judge how they live? Like, that's crazy to not just. I don't understand how people cannot be prepared for their kids to, like, as long as your kid is not mass taking people out and doing some like true- truly off the wall negativity toward, against like society. Like, love is the only thing the parents need to be thinking about. And if they're not thinking about that, why did you even procreate? Like, I mean, I'm just wondering why is there's not anybody going, hey, why at least the doctor, like, hey, so you're gonna procreate here, and when that happens, like, it's your job to think that this might be part of your future. Like spina bifida might happen, someone being in love with the same sex, this might happen. These are things you have to think about before you decide to go further in this pregnancy. That's all I'm saying. Like, I just really don't understand how people, where do people get off judging how people like love in life? I don't understand. I know, like, I probably should understand, but I don't.
I guess it goes. I mean, if I could try to answer your question, it just goes back to the point that Mind Matters made earlier about what's ingrained in them. I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's wild. Okay, thank you.
So because like I said, when my daughter came out to me, I don't know when she came out to her dad, if she came out to her dad. I mean, she might have left it up to me to tell her dad. But when she came out to me at first, I needed a day because of what the mindset that I was in back then. I needed a day, but I knew I wasn't gonna give up on my child and send her out there on her own. No, I wasn't gonna do that. No, not. And she was in middle school when she came out. So yeah. All right, we're gonna move on to the next letter. All right, thank y'all for that. Hey, Tara Hawk, how you doing? Welcome in.